Right, so this is a classic guessing game where basically you're going to get a random number and then you're going to get students, the users, sorry, to enter a number, and if they get it right, then the game quits. As it gets hard, more difficult to code, you're going to tell them if they got a high or low number, and in the end, you're going to give them 5 guesses to get it right. So let's do the first bit. So first bit we've got to do is get the game to get a random number, and it's all here, but I'm going to type it here. Oh, we've done that. So in Python, you've got to do import random. In the exam, they'd probably get away with just doing like a equals random integer between. You could write the pseudocode like that, rand in 1,100 or something like that. But in Python, that's how you do it. So that will print out a random number. I'm going to store that as answer because that's the answer they need to get. Now, they need to loop until something happens, until they get it right. So we need a while loop. Obviously, we're in the while loop challenges. So we're going to put guess, and we're going to set it to blank because we don't want to set it to anything else. Because now we know it's not going to equal that because it's a blank. Or we could set it to -1. We know, or 0 because 0 isn't in our list or anything. I'm going to start it at blank. Okay, so I'm going to say, well, actually I'll start it at 0 because otherwise if I start it at blank, actually, I don't want to compare a string to a number. So that actually might crash. So I've got to set it to a number. So I'm going to set it to guess equals 0. So while guess is not equal to answer, so that means, they haven't got it, then I'm going to get them to enter an answer. So guess equals the integer of input, enter a guess. And there we go. And that's all I'm going to say. And then if, I'll just leave it there. There we go. I'm just going to say, that's it. And then I'm out of the while loop, I'm going to put, you got it right, outside the while loop. So that'll only execute once the while loop finishes. It doesn't say I've got to do that, but we're going to presume you would give them some sort of well done. There you go, 45. Obviously, it'll be here forever. So I'm going to cheat, and I'm going to print the answer out so that I can cheat and check it works. Run. So it's 96. Wow, what are the odds I get this right? Oh, I got it right. Wow, what are the odds? And as you can see, it quit. So that worked. Obviously, now I'm going to delete the cheating, give me the answer bit. So that's the first bit done. This bit here. So do low, and then print out whether their guess was too high or too low. So if it wasn't, so if guess is greater than answer, print too high, and then I'm going to do elif guess because it can't be larger and smaller, so I might as well use an elif print too low. Okay, you don't have to, you could not done elif, you could just done a if, but oh well. It's better to do elif if you can. So I enter a guess, 45, too high, 23, too low, 35, too low, 38, too low, 40, too low, all too high, 39, hurrah, you got it right. So, there we go, not too far away, brilliant. So that's that done. Then it says, do mid, but only give them 5 guesses. Let them know each time how many guesses they've got left. So, guesses left equals 5. Okay, enter a guess. You have, and then I'm going to put a comma. I'll put a quote, comma, guess is left. Then a comma, and then guess is left. I was just trying to think if this was any way to make this a bit less long, but there we go, maybe not. So, there we go. So I've added the number of guesses in. I've put a break in the input, and I put guesses left in. I knew there'd be something I did wrong there. Now, obviously, in Python, you cannot concatenate a string. So what I'm going to need to do there, some languages you can, apparently Python you can't, is put like input text, and then I'm going to make a variable called input text equals, and I'm going to make a variable called that, and I'm going to add them together. So to do that, I'm going to add the string of guesses left. Actually, I could have done that in input, to be fair, but it's probably best to do it in a variable and then put it in. So I've made a variable called input text. If I put enter a guess, I add the string version of guesses left, because guesses left is a number, and then I add guesses left there. I'm going to put spaces in, and that's how you do it. Okay, there we go. You have 5 guesses left. Then I'm going to enter 10. It's still going to say 5 because I'm not removing it. So after each guess, I'm going to do guesses left equals guesses left -1. Run that. You have 5 guesses left. You have, why is it saying 5 still? I've spelled something wrong. Classic Campbell. Right, there we go, run. Now, the only other thing, it doesn't matter how many guesses we have. So, obviously, we need to change this while loop. So, while guess is not equal answer and guess is left. Oh my God, I've done it again. It's greater than 0. So, there we go. We have 5 guesses, 56, 45, 45, 45, 45, too low. Now, it says you got it right because we're breaking the loop because we've run out of guesses. Because before, we didn't have that because you only broke the loop when you got it right. So now, what we want to do is cut that, do an elif that says guess equals answer, and then we're going to print it out. Only part of the elif here. Well, you could just do else actually, because there's only 3 options. If it's not too high and it's not too low, it must be this one. So actually, you could just do an else here. Either would have worked, but you could just do an else, because if it's not too high and it's not too low, it must be just right. Says the Free Bear said. Right, so guess is left. Let's try and get it right. 50, too high. 25, too low. 37, too low. 43, too high. Am I going to be lucky? 39, no. Just give myself more guesses. 50. There we go, got 50 left, brilliant. I think I'm going to get it because I know the system. 25, too high. 12, too high. 6, too high. 3, too high. 2, too high. Oh my God, it's 1. What are the odds on that? 1 in 100. Right, so there you go. It got it correct, and there you go. So that's basically that there, and that's how you do that one there.